Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. Welcome back to end of Season 8 on the FMFC, the People's Series. We're now in the year 2024. The club have basically lost every single player now, other than one, who is actually now transferred to go out, because Curti FM is the only player that is actually left on the FMFC squad from the original thing that we started off with. And as you can see on here, in June 2024, which is in about 10 days time on the game, he's going to be leaving to join Newcastle anyway. So Curti FM was the final player that is actually at FMFC. And if we look at their progress since the last time we saw each other, which was in 12th position, they finished 9th, so they had a really decent season. And then finished in 20th. And this season have finished in 18th place. If we look at the final league table, here they are right down the bottom, only just surviving. So things are not going great for FMFC. And I mean, in terms of finances, they're in a rich position. The club still haven't increased on the stadium, but you just don't, you know, in terms of the playing personnel, no one is left from the previous regime. If we have a look at the history of managers, so since Chris Powell's been in charge, this obviously we've now gone about 3 years into the future here. We had Andy Crosby as a caretaker. Gary Monk took over and was then sacked, although he did actually, well, no, I was going to say he did quite well, but he lost 19 games in total. Andy Crosby, caretaker. Chris Doug, I don't really know who the hell this guy is. Yeah, exactly. He's a nobody. Lost 11 games, did really well. Mark Proctor came in as caretaker. Then Nathan Jones, who is the former Yeovil player and now currently Luton Town manager, took over. Was in charge for the longest period of time after Chris Powell, for 258 days, and was then sacked. And now we have got Asmir Begovic in control, who's had a fairly average start to life as manager of FMFC, and these are his current stats. So stat-wise, he's a very good manager. Well, he's probably a better coach than he is a manager. But yeah, so that's the situation with FMFC at the moment. If we have a look then at some of the players and go through those guys in a bit of detail, let's have a look one by one. So if we start off with our goalkeepers, DRK is now at Hull. Those are the stats. You can pause on these screens at any time, but I'm going to try and rattle through this as quickly as possible. In terms of career-wise, you've gone from FMFC to Huddersfield to Hull in a 6.5 million move, and you're now still applying your trade in the Premier League. So that's really good. Cam Clark is currently contracted to Man City, but he's not getting any game time, but he's a very good backup goalkeeper. I mean, some of those stats are really impressive. Hasn't really been playing a lot of game time over the last 3 years after various loan spells away. It might be able to get a chance to break into Man City, but I'm not sure. Kyle Snedden is currently at Huddersfield and is currently wanted by Newcastle, who have just now signing Curti FM, so that's interesting. Again, you know, decent move away from FMFC. Still applying your trade in the Championship though with Huddersfield. Velocity Gaming is at Burnley. Physical attributes very good, very all well-rounded player. Mentals could do with a bit of work on though. Sky Bet Championship at the moment not playing a huge amount of games after a big move of £8 million to Burnley. Mainly coming off substitute appearances, annoying. GWFM earning the big bucks, 205 grand a week at Manchester United. Stat wise is very impressive, playing a lot of games for Man United. Yeah, £54 million move from Everton. That is an absolutely massive fee. Probably going to be the best one, I would imagine, so far. Alan Connolly, who is still at Wolves and is currently wanted by Bournemouth, Newcastle, Southampton and Stoke, has played a lot of games in the Championship for Wolves. Stat-wise is very impressive, and has been at Wolves for quite a few years now. I'm still at West Ham on 140 grand a week, which is just ridiculous. I'm playing regular Premier League football with West Ham. Consistent amount of game time as well. Very good. McGillivray FM is finally getting the game time at Arsenal, and it shows. I mean, look at some of those attributes. It's just absolutely incredible for a 25-year-old. playing for Arsenal, has had a couple of loan spells away, but now since has kicked on and has really established himself at the Emirates Stadium. Culture left foot, playing for Arsenal's rivals in Tottenham, is not getting as much game time, but is still playing a few matches here and there. Attribute wise is not that impressive considering he's valued at 22.5 million. Has been at Tottenham for a while, various loan spells away, but not really getting a full crack of the whip at Tottenham. The FM star at Newcastle, attributes have skyrocketed and is now on 84 grand a week. Just look at some of those physical attributes, that's just absolutely insane. Has been with Newcastle for a few years now, again after various different loan spells away, and has firmly established himself as a Premier League player. Dave Azzopardi is on loan at Crystal Palace from West Brom, has got a lot of caps for Malta, and is actually now applying your trade in the Championship. Really bizarre that Palace have decided to play you and West Brom haven't, but I'm sure a big move is only around the corner. Mark is still with Stoke. Attributes are absolutely fantastic in the Premier League, but he wants to leave to play Champions League football, and is currently wanted by Chelsea and also by Man United. Has been at Stoke for a while now, and obviously hasn't got the progression he's after, and I think a big money move is going to be in the offing considering how much you're valued at. Adamski Clarkinho is now established as the centre back for Juventus and is currently wanted by Man City and valued at £35 million. Again, physical attribute wise is just insane. The technical abilities that you want as a defender are there, and everything has just come on leaps and bounds, and I'm glad that Juventus have finally started playing you. Over the last few years you had your loan spells away, and that has really helped out for your career. Game Affair TV is on 75 grand a week, currently wanted by Man City and by West Ham. Other than composure, very nice attributes, and again playing a lot of games for Newcastle in the Premier League, but he's feeling pressured by the interest in it. Alex Malloy is another one, again at Everton, currently wanted by Stoke. Composure and concentration is something that's still not amazing, but attribute wise is very good. 23 games for Everton, and has truly established yourself after again various different loan moves away. Football Manager Zone currently at Man City, not amazing amount of game time, but stat wise is just again incredible. Really solid all round from FM Zone. Has got the move away from West Brom for 26.5 million. Has played a few games, but not as many as you would like. Home dressing room stats have continued to improve and is now on 97 grand a week at Arsenal. 20.5 million pounds as a value. These have progressed very nicely indeed. Not played a massive amount of game time for Arsenal, but got a £21 million move away from Burnley. Really played a lot of game time for Burnley, but Arsenal decided to make that move for you, and you can probably see why. Lucas Cook, after much consideration, is now at Huddersfield. Again, physical attributes are very good. Not progressed amazingly, and you can understand why. Not getting very many game time for Huddersfield. Was at Walsall, was playing very well in League One, but has then made the move up to the Championship and just hasn't played a massive amount of games. So that's probably the biggest disappointment so far. FM Life is at West Ham as well as myself. Again, stat wise is not a massive improvement. I haven't noticed a big increase. Is not playing many games at all in the Premier League, but has got a high value. Was at Crystal Palace and was doing very well in the Championship, but again move up to the Premier League for big money and just hasn't been playing as much as you would like. So Bood FM finally got the move that he was after. He's at Liverpool at the moment, and again is now not playing a massive amount of games considering the value. 29 million valued at 140 grand, and has only played 9 games, 8 substitute appearances, but got a £10.5 million move away from Reading, and has played well, but then as the seasons have gone on, just played less and less. Very strange. The anchor man is at Sunderland and is currently wanted by Tottenham and by West Ham, so West Ham could actually end up having quite a few players in their team. Again, he's feeling pressured by interest shown in him, but stat-wise, he's just incredible for a winger. 18.5 million. Has played a lot of games in the Championship since the move to Sunderland, got relegated, stuck with them, did quite well, but he's now wanted by the bigger teams, and I'm sure you'll get the move you're after. That FM regen. Now, this is quite an interesting one. He's obviously at Norwich at the moment, not playing many game times, and is currently transfer listed on 14.5 grand or 1.3 million. Someone is surely going to take a punt on him. It's only just been bought. That's quite interesting. I would have thought you'd have got a move beforehand, but a move in what looks like the summer, or no, January rather, has only played a few games and is now all of a sudden transfer listed. Very strange. Again, you know, I think probably the chance to boost those attributes is probably now gone. But hopefully somebody does pick you up. Mr. Beattie is still at Stoke, wanted by West Ham and also by Man City. Attributes are very, very well-rounded for a proper defensive midfielder. £23 million, 71 grand a week. But hasn't played as much as I would have expected. But Stoke have gradually increased the appearance times. But only 19 appearances in the Premier League. That must have been down to some form of an injury, you would think. Jarve FC still at Man City at the age of 25 and is currently wanted by Arsenal. 61 grand a week and is just not playing. Just simply not playing. Was loaned out to Millwall, and I'm surprised because the stats are there, but you're just not playing, and I'm really, really annoyed by this because I thought you could have gone on to have a really, really good career. But it looks like a move away is going to be the only way that Man City will give you any sort of game time. Toxic Lemon is still at QPR, but is now wanted by a whole host of teams. Attribute-wise, have gone up slightly, but not by a massive amount. But it looks like you've spent the whole of your time, yeah, you have, at QPR in the Championship. Have done really, really well, a lot of game time. But you just need that move away now. If you're ever really going to break out and become a good player, you need to get out of the Championship. By far the biggest shock, Golden FM, the Chile international, has been signed up by Barcelona of all teams. Attribute-wise, from a mental point of view, it is very good. Physicals are good. Technicals could do with a bit of work, but you can understand why they've coughed up that amount of money. So West Ham signed him from Sporting Kansas City, played for West Ham for 2 seasons, only played 1 game of the new season, and then Barcelona snapped him up for £52 million. That's probably the biggest move so far. FM Gizmo is still at Derby, but is currently wanted by Man City, Newcastle and West Ham. Again, attributes are very average, if I'm being brutally honest, but has played a lot of game time for Derby in the Premier League and has done quite well. So again, big money move on the horizon. AP Football has got a move to Newcastle. You're going to have to let me know how you feel about this one, mate. And has done very, very nicely. Attributes are okay. I mean, mentals need a bit of work on, but valued at 30 million and was actually released in the end by Man City. So you've had your loan moves away. You were on loan at Leeds and at Celtic, then on loan at Sunderland and at Tottenham. Didn't play any game time, was released on a free. Newcastle picked you up and you have continued to flourish. Fatman Dupe is still at Monterrey. I'm going to say Monterrey. Stat-wise is just incredible. Absolutely amazing stat-wise. It's just an all-round attribute setting and is currently wanted by Porto. Porto is going to probably be the latest move then, I would imagine, yeah, you spent quite a lot of game time in Mexico. Very strange league for you to want to play at, but hopefully a big move back into Europe and playing Champions League football can be on the horizon. Matt Slater is at Fulham, 8.5 million, playing in the Championship and is wanted by Bournemouth, Newcastle and Stoke. Again, you know, 220 grand as a transfer move, and look at the value now. Has played in the Championship, done very, very well, and hopefully again now going to get your big money move. Just FM Saves appears to be getting some game time finally at Watford and is currently wanted by Stoke, Sunderland and West Ham. Is playing in the Premier League and is doing quite well. Was on loan at Wolves for a period of time, and I think that loan move has obviously done him the world of good because you played with Watford in the Championship and also in the Premier League as well, and again just doing very, very nicely. Andrew Rogers is another player who is at West Ham. Attributes for a winger are absolutely amazing. Perfect attributes for a winger, and it's exactly what you want from this guy. £26.5 million. So what's happened to you? Quite a lot, to be honest. Obviously at Arsenal, a few loan spells away. Didn't do particularly well. Went on loan to Valencia. Didn't play an awful lot for Arsenal, but was sold to West Ham and has now done quite well. 7.01 average rating, £12.5 million. Kimrez is still at Liverpool, and again, attribute-wise, physical attributes are just insane. Crossing, dribbling, first touch, finishing, heading is all a brilliant attributes. And again, loan move to Watford was just what was needed, and then since then, played a lot of game time for Liverpool. Really, really good move from that part, Kimrez. Just my plays. You wanted to know where you ended up, buddy, and how you were doing. You're now playing for PSG. Although you are on the transfer list. Transfer list asking price of £21 million. I don't know why you're on the transfer list. What has happened? So you were at NAC for 1, 2, 3. You were there for 4 years at NAC in Holland, trying to get the work permit. Obviously, Man City just gave up on you in the end, and has gone to PSG on a free transfer. Played a few games, played quite a few this year, but now for some reason they've just transfer listed you. Very, very bizarre, but your attributes have gone up amazingly. Tom Bleachino, you're at Bristol City, currently valued at £3 million, and is doing quite well in the Championship. 9 assists in 19 games. What's been happening with you? Well, this year you've only just moved from FMFC. You were there for quite a long time, doing very, very well for them, but you moved in the January transfer window, and hopefully this now, a move to Bristol City can hopefully materialise into something going a little bit higher and progressing through the leagues now. Fry Badger Gaming, it doesn't appear as if things have gone massively well for you at Chelsea. Attribute-wise, really, really good. Can't complain of that. You currently want to buy Man City and buy West Ham because you are on the transfer list for £9.5 million. In terms of your career stats, yeah, you've gone out on loan a little bit, but in terms of playing time for Chelsea, it's just been an absolute waste of a career. I hope you can get your move away for your sake. Sergeant Ferb is at Newcastle, wanted by a whole host of amazing, amazing teams. Again, attribute-wise, as a proper advanced forward or a poacher, are very, very good. 17 goals and 38 appearances, and this is what you've been doing. So you were signed up by Newcastle for big, big money after a previous loan period with them. Goal-wise, 13, 17 in the last 3 seasons. You're doing very, very well. Keepers finally got your move away, and you're currently playing at Southampton. Not playing that many games, I have to be brutally honest, but yeah, so you moved actually from FMFC to Reading for £18.25 million. Scored a lot of goals in the Championship. Was obviously doing quite well this season as well. And then was sold in the January transfer window to Southampton. And just haven't really played many game times to get yourself on the goal scoring records. The final player on the list is Cappers. Again, moved to Chelsea by the looks of things. Wanted by 11 clubs. Your contract's actually finishing now, and a whole host of teams, a lot of German teams are after you, so that'll be interesting to see whereabouts you go to. Obviously signed by Chelsea right at the very beginning, had loan spells, and just for the last 3 seasons have just been absolutely wasted at Chelsea. And I think for your sake, for your career, you need to get that move away now to progress. So that is it in terms of the players. Let's have a look at who's the highest value. Yeah, as you would imagine, Golden FM, GW and McGilvery are the 3 biggest. Clubs, who's on the most in terms of a contract? Again, exactly the same. Bood FM followed very, very closely. So Dupe's contract is due to expire in December. Hopefully someone will snap him up before then. But Cappers is the one who's got a big decision to make in terms of where you go from here. On the international scene, we're now gone beyond the youth setup. So let's have a look at the most appearances. Dupe, Dave, Just Mikes, Lucas Cook right up there. McGilvery FM has got 55 appearances for Scotland. Really, really nice. There's only actually there's quite a few players who haven't got international caps by England, but Adamski Clarkinho is now starting to get some appearances for Italy. Mr. BT Keepers is playing for Scotland. Me and GWFM are playing for England, which is quite cool. FM Live's got a lot of appearances for Australia, so people are doing quite well. In terms of goal scoring, Keepers at the top as a striker, you would imagine. Not many goals from Dupe and Just Mike, though, I have to admit. Sergeant Ferb has got a few caps for England, has got a couple of goals. So has Kappas, but not very many people are scoring. Let me just have a look and see if anybody has actually won any trophies at their current club. So Cam Clark has won the FA Cup with Man City. Anything else? No. Runners up on quite a few things, although won the EFL Cup and the Checkatrade Trophy, which I would imagine is with the under-23s. DRK won the Sky Bet Championship with Huddersfield before being relegated, and now relegated with Hull, so that's not great. GWFM has done quite well with Manchester United, so let's have a look. So he's won the European Super Cup, the Club World Championships, the English Premier League, the Community Shield, the Premier League, the Community Shield, the EFL Cup, and then finished runners-up in the FA Cup. So as you might imagine, a big team, GWFM is shining. McGilvery FM has, let's have a look, so you've got, obviously, achievements before Arsenal, runners-up. So winners of the Europa League, winners of the FA Cup, winners of the European Super Cup, winners of the Champions League, and winners of the World Club Championship for Arsenal. So McGilvery FM's got quite a bit of silverware. Tottenham won the Europa League this year, so Culture Left Foot got himself a winner's medal. So Adamski Clarkinho won the Under-21 European Championships back in 2019. Finished runners-up in the Olympic Games for the Italy Under-23s. And also won the European International League with Italy, that stupid made-up competition by UEFA. FM Zone has won the FA Cup with Man City, finished runners-up in the Community Shield, and is now the winner of the Premier League with Man City. Home Dressing Room has won the 2 trophies with Arsenal along with McGilvery FM. FM Life won the Asian National Cup with Australia, so that's quite a cool accomplishment. So AP won the EFL Cup with Man City and also won the Checkatrade Trophy with Man City's Under-23 squad, but other than that hasn't won nothing major with any other clubs. Andrew Rogers has won a couple of competitions with Arsenal as well before moving on to the Europa League, FA Cup and Super Cup along with the others. And Kappas has won the Community Shield and also the Checkatrade Trophy with Chelsea as well. So that will wrap up today's video. What age are the players at now? They're at the age of 25. So I'm going to progress another 3 years into the future and have a look to see. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to progress 5 years into the future and just see how people are at before they start dwindling down to the end of their deals and to the end of their contracts. Because if I'm being brutally honest, I just want to get to the end of this series now. It hasn't gone as well as I had planned. If you guys want to see more about the series, then please, let me know and I'll try and post out some individual pictures or whatever the case may be. But I just want to do the next 5 years, get to the age of 30, and then I think I'm going to call it quits on the series from this point onwards. But there's going to be some other stuff coming on the channel, as you would have seen previously. FM experiment videos, and also I'm hoping that my podcast will be up and running, or will be in the running to be started fairly shortly as well. But if you guys enjoyed the video and you've enjoyed the progress that some of your guys have been making, then please smash the like button. Also comment below as to the progress of your individual player. That'd be quite interesting to see who's actually keeping the tabs of their guy. But yeah, until we see each other next time on the channel, you guys have been amazing. Adios.